It's been a long time since I posted a video, and life sort of got in the way. Not always in a good way. I've been busy, but not in ways I anticipated or would wish on anybody. But I'm back to exercising pretty regularly, and I've been doing a bit of jogging. I'd call it running, but it's pretty slow, slower than I've ever run in my life. But frankly, I'm just happy to be able to move and exercise at all. So I'm trying to keep the perspective of better slow and steady than not at all. And I've been at it for a couple months now, maybe 3 months and a little bit, but a good 3 to 4 weeks of that, I wasn't able to exercise. So it's been a little bit in spurts. My pace has been slow, about 12 minutes a mile on the trail, maybe a little faster when I'm on the asphalt. Um, I've been trying to save my knees a bit by sticking to softer surfaces, but I don't like to drive anywhere to run. It just seems a little bit wasteful to me, at least from a time management standpoint, if not a burning petroleum uh, mindset. And so this is kind of a treat. I'm in my hometown, but there's a little trail that runs through a park, and some of it is gravel, about a 1 kilometer gravel loop, and the rest is sort of what I'm running on now, which is this sort of edge of a field. Um, and it's not long enough to just make this my run. I have to incorporate multiple loops to get any sort of distance, but that's okay. I'm used to that from longboarding. And I've just been trying to go at an easy pace. I guess you could call it zone two from a heart rate standpoint, although I've really struggled to track my heart rate. I have a watch, a Phoenix 6, that does heart rate measurement, but it's always inaccurate. It was always inaccurate for longboarding, and particularly when it's cold out, it would underestimate my heart rate for longboarding, and it seems to overestimate my heart rate for jogging. So much so that it's kind of unusable. And I have a couple of really old heart rate monitor straps from my very brief triathlon days, and I was using one of them, the newer of the two, which was still, 16 years old, and it was overestimating my heart rate. And then I lost the transmitter. It popped off of the strap, and I have no idea where it is. So today I'm wearing the older one, which seems to be even less accurate. I was showing a heart rate of 220. Now it's actually 249 is what it's reading. And I'm guessing I'm around 140 or so. When I check my pulse, it can't be more than that. So this is sort of useless. I did order a Coros armband heart rate monitor. That seems to maybe bridge the the distance between the chest straps, which I assume the newer ones are more accurate, and the wrist, which seems to be utterly inaccurate in my case anyway. So um, I don't really care what my heart rate is, except that I'm consciously trying to not run a too high heart rate. I really just want to build my endurance base and also not go so hard that I risk injury. And so far, I think I've been pretty successful with that. I've managed to run painfully slow on the trail for up to 20 miles. That was my long run last weekend, and it went reasonably well. 4 hours on your feet hurts even when you're going really slow, and that seemed to be about my maximum as far as what I could tolerate logistically, incorporating into a regular life, and how much pain I wanted to endure in training. I did sign up for a 50K race called the Algonquin 50. It's on the eastern shore, closer to past Salisbury, a little further south. And that's all trail, all flat, I believe, and tends to be quite wet. So I'm a little nervous about that, but also looking forward to it. And that's in about 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks. So I did the one long run, the 20 miler. I'll probably cut back this weekend, maybe run 12 to 14 or so. And then I might do one more long run, either 3 weeks out or 2 weeks out. Uh, I don't think I'm going to go longer than 4 hours. I just think I risk injury too much. But psychologically, felt pretty good at that amount of time. And I think it's an 8 hour cutoff for that race. I should probably know that, but I don't. My goal is just to finish, maybe try to finish, running instead of walking, but to stick to about those 12-minute miles and see how long I can keep that up for. I do start off really kind of tight and slow, and when I do these little runs around town, I tend to run faster as the run goes along. I give myself a good half hour to loosen up a bit, and then I try to finish a little bit faster, but a little bit faster is still really slow. And that's okay. I tell myself we're kind of slow creatures anyway, humans, with running. Even the fastest of us are not all that fast in the grand scheme of things. So if I run a bit slower or a lot slower than I used to, I'm okay with that. I think, as I said before, I'm just happy to be moving. I am doing a little bit of longboarding again, but I really don't like doing it in the cold. We had this little January thaw today where mid 40s right now, and my hands are always cold, but today they're not. I had to take my gloves off, and I had a second layer on that I had to take off and stash right on the side of the trail here because I'm just too hot. And that's unusual for this time of year. I usually have two long sleeve layers and then a windbreak wool vest that I wear for any kind of outdoor exercise. So it's kind of a treat. Ultra Skate's coming up in about 7 weeks, something like that, a little under that. And I hope to attend, at least to watch. I don't know if I'll be in shape enough to ride very much, but maybe I'll ride a little bit. I'm going to go in pretty loose as far as any expectations or goals, if I'm able to go at all. I've enjoyed the cross training. I feel like running and jogging keeps your heart rate in a pretty consistent zone versus longboarding where there's a little more up and down. There can be a fair amount of coasting. You can really take advantage of the coasting on easy sections when you don't have a headwind or you're not going uphill. So I feel like running's more efficient as a workout. Not to say you can't get a really good workout with longboarding, but I think you have to go faster and hit it harder and do less coasting. And when I'm doing that, it feels a little less safe, or I'm a little more prone to error or missteps. And that's what I'm really trying to avoid, especially in the cold weather when falling hurts even more than when it's warm. I've been running about 3 days a week, usually 2 runs of an hour to an hour and a half. I don't fuss too much worrying about the mileage, just the time on my feet. And then one longer run. And as I said, the longest has been 20 miles so far. And I've been trying to ride my longboard a couple times a week just to remember what that feels like, continue to maintain my balance. I'm not worried about speed on any of these things. And I try to get to the gym to cross train on the days I'm not running. And I'm also trying to get out on the longboard on the days I do run, if the weather's nice, just to get used to pushing on tired legs. But I haven't done much of that. I'd like to do more. I'm really picky with choosing my days. I try to do a little bit of strength training too. I don't like to spend too much time doing that, but maybe a couple days a week, I'll go to the gym and try to do a quick routine. I wasn't able to do that for quite some time after fracturing a lot of my ribs, and it took a long time to get to the point that my torso would tolerate any kind of lifting. So that finally seems better, and I'm able to do some strength training, but I definitely am taking a bit of time to get back to where I was. So that's been my routine, exercise wise, anyway. If anyone out there is running for cross training or is signed up to do ultra skate, and lives in a colder climate and is trying to stay in shape, feel free to chime in below or share any tips. I'd love to hear them. And I hope to see some of you down in Miami in a few weeks.